Punk unicorns, we're here to stay, living our lives in our own way. Mama K and Nikki B, we're here to slay, tearing down walls we don't play. Gay man, be a woman, we're all one. Eccentric and wild, we're never done. Garage gods of filth and blasphemy. We're the punk unicorn family. Leave us a hug, we'll give you a laugh. It's the Punk Unicorns Podcast. Mama K and Nikki B, we're a blast. Join us and you'll have a blast.
Welcome to Outdoor Yoga with Nikki B, starring Nikki B.
Hi, everybody.
This is the only pose he knows. Well, there's a couple. Hold on, let me back up.
Here's one.
There you go.
This is called...
This called the leaning homosexual.
Right, and then there's one, like, where I go...
Yes, the flaming homosexual.
Right, and then I do this thing where, like, I go, like that.
Yes, homosexual in the sunlight. I think they have a picture of that in the Sistine Chapel.
Side boob,
Right.
but demure.
Right, very classy side boob. Very classy. All right, now I'll give a tour of the things.
God.
Go. Okay, welcome to Nikki B's Flower Garden, and it all comes around this way. I mean, it's everywhere. It's almost like an arboretum in the front yard. I mean, you can't not enjoy having your own fucking arboretum in your own fucking yard.
Like, it's like Cox Arboretum North.
Look, remember when Katy Perry went up in a spaceship?
I'm so glad I came back to Earth.
Right.
I thought they were going to get me.
I probably would have stayed.
That goes perfect with your hair.
Thank
I
you.
love
So,
it. It
this
looks
hairdo
great.
It's called I Ran Out of Hairspray, but it also kind of gives that Jennifer Jason Leigh single white female look. Like,
I love it.
I may suck the skin off your pecker, but then I also may slice your eyeball with a fucking 6-inch heel.
Like
After
that
I
girl with
do.
the dragon tattoo.
Like that girl with the thing on.
You know,
the
it
show.
deceptively looks nice out. The angle that we're filming right now, I can't tell you guys.
Oh, guys.
It's gray everywhere except where she's standing.
I am down 18 pounds.
Congratulations!
We'll talk about 4 of those pounds when we start the podcast. In 5, 4, 3, 2. And what had happened is after Nick left, I was here.
Yeah.
After I left on Tuesday, I went home and I was fine, right? Just completely fine. Wednesday morning, I woke up and I'm like, you know what? Something just doesn't feel right. And I was in my bed and sick until Sunday was the first day that I felt completely like healed from whatever the fuck it was. Dude, I was on that toilet for hours, like from 7:30 in the morning until like 3 o'clock the following morning.
I don't know, this is probably just someone messing with
Yeah.
the trash.
And I was just so sick, I couldn't get out of bed. But that's why I lost a lot of the weight, a lot more weight. But anyway, that
I
was
may
my
have had a
mystery
mild
illness.
version of what you had.
Oh, it was terrible. It was
Because I
terrible.
pooped a lot this week.
Well, and I think I know what had happened. I know why I got sick. I had a replacement tip out for my toothbrush because the tip that's in it, or that was in it, had been in there for like ever, and I didn't even rinse it or prepare it. I just brushed my teeth, not thinking like, oh shit, I wanted to change this out, and I hadn't like brushed my teeth that day, so I was like, oh shit. And like halfway through the day, Wednesday, I'm like, I know damn well it's because I didn't switch out or rinse that, like, and it got poop air on it, and it just,
Anytime
dude, I thought I was out. Like, it was awful. I've never had a stomach flu last like almost 5 fucking days, dude.
It wasn't
Ever.
stomach flu, it was the chemtrails. They
Dude,
changed
it
the
was,
recipe
well, we were
again.
talking about them on Tuesday. Let's not talk about them today because I do not want that. Look, I would not wish what I had last week on my worst enemy. It was that fucking bad. I didn't eat food. I didn't eat solid food until Saturday. Saturday, I ate a piece of toast. Finally. So
Maybe you had COVID 1649 MRL.
that's the new one.
Yeah.
Yep. So, enough
Hi, everybody.
with that. Nick, his vacation's coming up and he's going to
So-
Canada.
No,
Right.
no. Massachusetts. Canada is later this summer.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Canada's in July.
Because I thought we was talking about the passport thing, but talk about
Oh,
all
we
of that.
are talking about that, but yes. So Salem, Massachusetts for a witchy vacation. Yeah, we're
I
gonna
can't
go-
wait to get the gift from him that he gets me while he's there.
Yeah, it'll be a pinnacle like from the craft or something that you can wear.
Or like one of those
Shrunken heads.
prehistoric tampons the witches used.
Made out of Cherokee hair?
Cherokee hair and the teeth of dismembered fucking gnomes.
We can't talk about gnomes. They actually.
Well, they're already dead. Like, you don't kill them. You just find them on the wayside.
Oh,
and
okay.
then
I
pull
was
their
gonna
teeth
say
out. They
because
don't
you
kill
know that they like pick on us, especially me. There's a gnome portal in Butler Township here in Dayton. Just in case you guys want to know.
Well, that explains a lot of the women.
Yeah. Why there's so many? Yeah.
Ugly ones.
It's like David the gnome's wife.
So, speaking of weirdos, Nick seems to allegedly there's a rapist with Vermunda.
Oh yeah, there is somebody that I won't say the person's name, but
I wouldn't either.
they are totally all over the Tiki Takis. They live in Huber Heights or lived in Huber Heights. Lots
Now, you know what? Before we even started filming, you left a lot of this shit out. He just said, rapist with Vermunda. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Now the motherfucker lives in my town.
I don't know if he lives there. That's where a couple of the girls are from.
Okay.
Okay, and the cops haven't done anything. A lot of the girls have came forward. Well, anyway, long story short, this person, I ran into them the other day, and they smelled so bad that it burned my eyes. Like, have you ever had a chemical shoot up? Not actually liquid, but the fume from a chemical
Yes.
hit your eyes, the way that feels? Almost like mentholated, but on your eyes. That was what this person's body odor smelled like. On top of dick cheese.
Listen.
Like, they were beyond incel. They were like on month 2 of masturbating and not cleaning up.
Oh, so they even had that schmegma scent.
Oh, absolutely. Like what we call Northridge coochie. That smell of like Marlboros, and I'm wearing
Tilapia.
right, and I'm wearing leggings with no panties. Yeah, that smell. But on a guy, like, how is that even possible? Everything's external.
Maybe that crotch that was in them leggings with no underwear was bouncing on his crotch before he came to your
Ooh,
establishment.
Right, it's quite possible. But me, and also, I discovered I have a new superpower. I can talk and not breathe. Because I had to do that, and it just happened.
I don't think you breathe while you talk. I don't think anybody, like, I can't take a breath in. You can't
Well,
take
I
a breath
was
in when
I
the
was
breath's
able to
going out.
keep talking and not take a breath to keep going. I guess is a better way to describe it.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, I got
Kind of
you.
like how a singer makes a note last forever without
Right.
taking in another breath. That was what I was doing.
I see. I understand
Because
that now.
it was so foul that every single person around me made a comment about how they smelled it in the lobby, they smelled it in there, and they smelled it while standing next to the person. Ooh, Tina, we having fun with this wind today, y'all.
Stop it.
I thought about that when I mounted that earlier.
Did you mount Johnny
When I
you went up
mounted
there?
it.
You
It's got a
mounted
really
Johnny there?
nice mount under it for heavy weights.
So, apparently NATO's in Dayton. Did you wanted to say something
Oh
about the
yeah,
NATO?
so if you are a local listener, stay out of downtown Dayton next month, which is actually just in 2 days. NATO is taking over downtown Dayton. So there's
Basically.
Jesus Christ, people's trash is fucking everywhere. God damn it.
There's a big ass piece of styrofoam that just came blowing up here. That thing's as big as a toddler. I'm flying around my head. So while he's doing that, I want to say that tomorrow I want to wish my one and only granddaughter a happy 10th birthday.
Oh my God, you've been a grandma for a fucking decade. Ah, I love it.
She ain't even the oldest one.
Oh, that's right. You've been for a decade and a half.
Well, yeah,
Almost.
pretty much. Yeah. Well, no.
You don't have a preteen?
Brody's turning 12 this year,
So this is the last year of you having
I think.
all
Or
grandchildren. You're going to have one grand-teen soon.
Oh my gosh. And she's probably about 3 inches shy of being my height. It's just,
I surpassed my Aunt Patty at age 9, maybe like the summer between 8, like when I turned 8 all the way up to 9. I was 5'9" or 5'10" as an 8th grader.
wow, I can imagine.
6 foot when I graduated high school. Shaniqua. That's why you have an OtterBox. Yeah, dun dun.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Passing out in the middle of the damn.
Our camera had some issues. Just so you guys know, it survived. Thanks to OtterBox. I would also like OtterBox to be a sponsor for us. I cannot tell you
I just
how many
think of an
times
animal's vagina.
my $1,500 phone has been saved by the OtterBox. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. No,
An otter box. It's nuts.
we're going to make sure that don't happen again. I just thought of something.
What you just think of? Well, I have him sitting there so he can hold it.
I know. I was just thinking just so he doesn't have to. There we
Okay, there
go.
you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Keep it kind of steady.
So, this weekend we had an event. Like I said, I was sick as shit. But I was able to do some things. Like I had my youngest grandkid on Friday. I was able to do that. I just wasn't
Were
allowed
they
to.
out
I
of
just-
school or something?
He's only 4.
Oh,
Well, he's
that's
getting
right.
ready to turn 4. He walked up to the door and he's like, "Mama, I'm turning 4 years old," and he's the youngest. So I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
I love that. You know, my baby, my oldest great nephew, he is going to be 4 this year. His sister's going to be 2. And they're the cutest things in the world, too.
It just, I need, well, so we had this event in our city. It's called Hoppin' in the Heights, and it's basically,
Exactly what it sounds like.
right, it's the Easter version of Halloween. The kids go around trick-or-treating, basically, and you give out candy, and you give out, like, I gave out Easter eggs to the kids 5 and under, and then there was, the lady that organizes it, she passed out, like, I got 4 eggs that have, like, buy an entree and get a free kids meal at the Texas Roadhouse.
Oh my God, that's awesome, actually.
And then there was another egg that said, be at Target by 6 o'clock. Well, and then there was
Do they do Easter something at Target?
they help sponsor the Hoppin' in the Heights, and
Oh,
then
nice.
so they give you, she gives each house that decide, there was 48 houses that participated, and I was one of them, and she gave each house a prize egg, and then a gender of a child, and then their age. Ooh, I need to write this down too. so I don't forget that part. Anyway, so they go up there and some of them get prizes, some of them get Easter baskets, and then there's like one or two that got like $100 shopping sprees. Well, my daughter ended up getting a winning egg, and she got a motorized scooter that makes little bubbles come out the back of it. It's the cutest thing ever. And then a full-size Russell Stover bunny and some Peeps. And then my grandson ended up getting 2 prize eggs, and he got 2 big-ass Easter baskets. So it was really fun, and I had like 200 kids. Stay put, Bert the unicorn.
I know, right?
Name her after my bestie friend. My
I
bestie
wish
friend gave us
Strawberry
that.
Township did that.
So
We don't do anything like that.
I didn't even
here.
tell you about this before we started recording. We hadn't talked about it. I forgot about it, and then I have to write it down. So during this, hopping in the Heights, everybody that was participating, like houses that were participating, we were all in communication during this time. Shit. And I struck up a conversation with a gentleman named Rob. Very strange. And I think he deleted me, thank goodness. I think I scared him away because he was kind of strange. And
Robs are always strange.
we
Especially
started
Rob Lowe.
messaging privately, and he said, I saw your husband here at my house. I'm sorry if I didn't see you. And I said, I was at the house handing out candy. I'm thinking, we were all in communication. Like, I thought, you know, I'm like, but I didn't think anything of it. And then he made a comment. He said, no, maybe that wasn't your husband. It was another guy. Well, just lay down then. It was another guy you were in a picture with. And I was like, oh, okay, it was probably my son because, you know, Kyle had, you know, his son out doing the same thing. So I didn't think anything of it. And then the conversation, and then I woke up the next morning and then he put like, good night, cat. And I'm like, like,
That is
And
so
then
cringy.
he says,
So cringy.
he goes, well, he said, I would have shared with you the picture of the guy that I saw, but I didn't think it would be appropriate. And I'm like, hold on a second. I said,
God, so he's gonna be like, look, I was watching this porn and thought this was you.
no. So I was like, you have me very confused. I said, you thought you saw my husband. Then you realized you didn't see my husband. You saw someone else that that you're talking to was in a picture with, but you don't feel comfortable sharing the picture that I'm in with me, who's in the picture. I was like, I'm so confused. Then he sends me the picture. Bro, why the fuck did he send me a picture of me and my dead best friend? He
Where
said,
did you see
"This
the
is
picture?
Dude, I told you he went through. Oh, I forgot that part. Before this even happened, he said, oh, I was going through, he straight up said, I was going through your pictures and I don't know which person's you or not. You changed so much. I was like, yeah, I'm like a fucking chameleon, Rob. Like, yeah, creepy.
He sounds a little special.
Little pesh. So, yeah, I left that part out. So he was going through, and he sends me a picture of me and Josh. And guys, that's my friend that died before Christmas.
And he got it from your pictures.
From my, he's like, I said, that's the person that was at your house. And he said, yeah. And I was like, well, then you need to work for Jesus because that motherfucker been dead since right before Christmas. Josh's kids got a big kick out of that. I said, your daddy out here trick-or-treating. Hey,
You don't.
hey,
He doesn't.
can we use that?
What?
Can we use that? That.
If they threw it away, there's probably actually something wrong with it. It probably is leaking water because they don't
Probably.
throw anything away like that ever, and that actually looks new.
Oh, that's
Hose running
I will
around.
say because
A hose reel, yeah.
they really only work 2 seasons,
Yeah, we
and
got
they're
a
meant for
crazy one,
people
too.
that don't water every other day.
Oh, that's not me, homie.
It's like a person that uses it on their back porch to spray off their patio. Because otherwise, you need the kinky ones that only last like 1 or 2 seasons, but they're worth it. Because I tell you what, poopy fart. The universe.
Ew.
God bless America. What is wrong with this goddamn piece of shit?
Because everything's falling over, bless his heart. Speaking of sightings, well, next, he's got the goddamn styrofoam again. His whole house is hanging out, bless his heart. So being spotted around these parts is becoming more and more common because we have some drone pilots that be following people around in Dayton, cracking me the hell up. Now listen. Now what I saw last night was kind of sad. There were some tent villages that I was unaware we had. I guess part of me should have been deep down aware that they existed, but I just didn't know where.
Hi, everybody.
You good, honey?
Yeah.
It's good.
I
It's
threw the
okay.
bed thing on top of it. It shouldn't go
Okay,
away.
yeah, it shouldn't move now unless it moves.
And if it does, I don't know.
So we were talking about this before. This guy, well, there's two different accounts. The one guy is an asshole and the other guy is not. But the one guy just like follows people around and with a drone and then like gets right on top of them and scares them or whatever, and then goes on about his day. It's nothing like heinous or whatever. But then there's another guy that's a little bit more of an asshole. But we're not talking about him. I swear, one of these days, I just know one of these days I'm going to press play on one of those drone videos and I'm going to see our adopted daughter's birth father riding his potato-headed ass on a stolen bicycle and that drone be following him and him turn around with his wonky eye and weird,
Hey,
motherfucker!
you want to buy a lawnmower?
Lord, I apologize for that and please be with the starving pygmies in New Guinea. Amen.
That's funny though, because I think I would hit a drone. They better be quick with it.
You know, I got really excited the other day because they were, reining in on this guy that really fit his description. And he was riding a bicycle and from behind it really looked like him.
Maybe
And
it
I
was.
was like, no, because the guy turned around. And I was like, fuck, man, I wish that was him. Because I would have shared that everywhere. Like, oh my God, look at this potato in my van.
Smells like rain.
I know, that's why we're kind of doing this early because it's supposed to thunderstorm and already the clouds are gathering. As you can see, the wind's whipping. This is probably going to be a shorter.
Our set
Yeah.
is flying around.
Yes, we're going to end up in Oz maybe. So that's why I dress nice in case my brother picks me up because he lives there. He's dead. So speaking of Oz, I have been binge watching again The Osbournes, laughing my ass off.
You mean like the MTV show or one of their new?
Yes, the Ozzy Osbournes
Okay.
from back. This was like the first episode was aired in 2002, so I was 22 years old, and here I am now 45. So at 22, I'm watching it basically at the viewpoint of the children, and here I am now 23 years later, 20-some years later, watching it from the viewpoint of the parents and realize I have turned into a combination of Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. But as my son Kyle said, and I can totally get it because I didn't know what I was doing as a mom. I was just trying to teach my kids not to be ass cheeks. He's like, Mom, I just really didn't like you when you were actively parenting when he was in the house. He's like, you're cool as hell now, but before, I'm like, okay. The fact that I'm okay now is enough for me because I didn't know what I was fucking doing. No parent knows what the fuck they're doing, especially a young one. Like, look, when he was born, I was 19 years old, but I already had 2 other children at 14 and 17. So I didn't know what I was doing for a couple years before he came into the mix, and then I really didn't know what I was doing because that one came straight the fuck up out of me and started looking like me and acting like me and shit, attached at my tit. Didn't do that one. That hurt like hell.
I couldn't breastfeed if I was a parent.
It's painful. It's very painful.
It seems like it would to me.
And I remember after my second child, I have 5 children. I only birthed 2. after my second child was born,
She just finds them on the
I
street
literally,
and takes their collars off and throws them in the sewer, and they're hers.
they're mine. Some have papers, some don't.
Some are from alternate dimensions.
Yep, we've got ours, mine, wait, his, mine, ours, and theirs.
And there's
So after Cameron was born, I was like, yeah, he ain't getting the tit. I ain't even gonna attempt it. But the problem with that is you still have these gargantuan milk jugs that you have to find a way to.
you sell it to the
Well, if I'd have
the
known that,
local
I would
breast
have.
milk bank. There's like
I would
all
have had an
sorts of like
abundance. I really wanted to, but the thing was,
people into that actually.
I just wanted it not to hurt. Like, I remember being in the shower just sobbing. The water hitting my tits was like little
I can
fucking
imagine.
sore. Oh, it was so painful. So, and they,
Were Kathy's breasts actually sore?
and huge.
Consult me later. Go
They're thinking he's masturbating, thinking about how big my titties were.
Did she
They
leak,
was big.
did she leak milk everywhere?
I have a really funny story about that.
This thing's old and broken. No doubt
Me
about
too.
it. It's
No
the
doubt
one I can
about it.
Read the easiest.
I actually have a funny story. I had wash rags in my bra because I was leaking so bad with Cameron. And I went to go to the grocery store to get, I can't remember if it was formula, baby food, or what, but it was in that aisle. I think I went to get formula and like accidentally knocked over a jar of baby food, and it spilled everywhere, and I commenced to have a full-blown ball session at the fucking McMacken supermarket in Brookville, Ohio.
That would make me cry. One, because it's
Oh
wasteful,
my God.
and it's two, it's so goddamn expensive
Yeah.
for formula.
And I remember just crying, and one of the workers, a very nice lady, she's like, honey, we need to go ring you up because you're lactating through your shirt. I had 2 wash rags, and oh, they were awful.
That's
But I'm
at
like,
least she
oh,
was cute.
no.
Like, girl, let's get you out of here. You need to go home.
My
and
son
pub.
never slept, dude. He never slept. He didn't start sleeping through the night until he was almost 4 years old. He kept the schedule of a fucking newborn. And I wish I was exact. My husband is right here. I wish we tried everything. We, had him sleep independently. That didn't work. Sleep in the bed with us. That didn't work. We had brought a crib in our room. No. Bassinet didn't work. Pack and play didn't work. Got a mattress, put it on the floor, did not fucking, nothing worked. And we moved into our first house 15 years ago in Huber Heights. And once we moved into that house, I don't know what it was, but after we moved in there, he started sleeping through the night.
Well, I'll tell
But
you,
he kept a newborn
it's
schedule.
actually like a biological thing. It's like how when you a drug addict, you have to like move to Florida and quit talking to all your friends and start over again.
And then you start doing the Florida drugs.
No, well, in theory,
Well,
it's a
I
reset.
just know somebody that happened to. So.
Right, it's a reset. You are able to do things quicker when you're in a new place
True.
because it helps you get acclimated quicker.
Right, and
It's
then
like how
you don't know the areas,
Right, and you get in there and you just go for it and it works.
So, speaking of Oz and binge watching all of that, so Ozzy is one celebrity of mine that just has had my heart since forever, and I will be
I like
devastated.
him better as a television personality than as a musician. I do love his music.
Right.
I
I
really
get that.
like getting to know him on a personal level more.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He is absolutely
So
funny.
fucking
He
funny.
could have been a comedian just as easily as a fucking musician.
Right,
That
but you
dry
couldn't
British
understand
humor.
what the fuck he's saying. But I mean, once you're so used to listening to Ozzy ramble, it's just funny. So Ozzy was my celebrity that, when something happens to him, I will need sedated. I'll need something because it'll just break my heart. And the other person that I was like that with was Anna Nicole, and
I liked her a lot. I didn't freak out when she died, but I did like her a lot. Like, I was super sad that the way her and her son died.
Oh, it was awful.
I'm just glad her daughter has had a great life with her
She
father.
has. Yeah, and I'm obsessed with her daughter. Her daughter goes, I wait to see the pictures of her at the Kentucky Derby every year because her dad, it's like a tradition of her and her dad. They live out there and they're like out in the middle of nowhere. Like,
Oh, they live in Kentucky?
Yeah, she'll do like, I think they live near Lexington actually, so they don't live very far from here.
Yeah, that's a
But
little
I always
out.
wait to see her pictures at the Kentucky Derby with her dad, and then she did a documentary a few years back where she went like back to her mom's hometown and everything. I hope my hair don't look like Justin the Beaver, but you know.
Oh, speaking of poor Justin.
Oh my God! Pray for Justin the Beaver. What the hell's wrong with that man? He back on
has
the
been-
suit. He back on that sauce.
He was sexually abused as a teenager. So he's got permanent PTSD from that. He may or may not have committed crimes because of that. You know, he's got a lot going on. And
Right, and a
drugs.
baby.
And then doctors make them drug addicts. They literally like, here's your cocaine for the day, which is usually, you know, some kind of upper. And then they're like,
Roxy's.
right, and then here's your go to bed every night. And that's like trazodone, Seroquel, high doses of those that you usually only give
I was on that
combative
trazodone for a
young
while.
kids that have manic anger issues.
Yep, I was on trazodone for my. I have CPTSD because I had an influx of death in a small period of time,
Oh yeah, that'll
and they
absolutely.
were all
overwhelm
very
you.
traumatic, and you know some of them I was there for, and it alters your brain chemicals when you are just.
It's like people in a war zone that lose a
It was
bunch of
awful.
people at one time.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
very similar.
And then I'm, making balloons and they start popping and it's like fucking Hiroshima, like, God damn, my cousin's just trying to make a fucking duck. Anyway.
And then they die.
And then they die like the fucking Pope. Now you know, look at that segue.
That was a good one.
That was
Pope,
smoother than
the
a
Pope
baby's
passed
ass.
away.
If I was the Pope, I would be dope. But you know, they have already set a date for the conclave, which
May 7th.
did they announce it May 7th?
So we'll get to talk about it.
That's Monday, right?
Wait, that's a week from today. Today's the 30th or the 29th?
So Monday. Or no, hold on, I lied.
So next Wednesday. It'll
Next
be
Wednesday.
the day after we film. So after I come back so we'll have a huge break.
So are we filming next week then?
What is next week? Yes,
Do the
we'll film.
6th, and then
We'll
here.
film next week, but I'll be gone the week after.
Okay, so we'll be back on the
The
20th,
20th.
and then we should have a new pope.
Yes. And then we'll take our summer break after
So
episode 15, which is like 6 more episodes.
I just hope that
5 more episodes.
whoever takes his place does so with grace and doesn't rock the boat a whole lot, you know?
I would like them
Because
to at
he was
least,
such a good pope that I don't.
but he was also a scientist.
Right. And
I would like to see another pope
and he
that
was so
values
simple.
physics and science.
Yeah, he's just. I saw a video the other day of this little boy that wanted to ask the Pope a question, and he just got so nervous because he was probably maybe 6 years old, and the Pope said, "Well, if you're uncomfortable, just come whisper it in my ear." And he had said that his dad had passed away, and he was a non-believer, and did he go to heaven? So the Pope had asked him a couple questions, and then he said, you know, he'd asked the boy, "Can I tell everybody what the question was?" He went and let the boy sit down, and he said what the boy's question was, and he said, the man was a non-believer but had all 4 of his children baptized. And I said he was a believer. So, you know, the thing is
The church is very flawed, so the Pope
Right.
understood that.
and the thing is what you or I believe, we don't want, like if you had offspring, you would want them to form their own opinions. Just because
Mhm.
you feel this way And that's how I've always felt with my kids. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it, but you can draw your own conclusions about how you feel about it. You know, if you want to go and grow up in the Christian church and, you know, do all that sort of thing, go have at it. Just don't judge me and don't judge others.
Yeah, I wouldn't
All of my kids are
bring it
good
up
kids, but they're
unless
not
they
like,
asked me. Like,
Right.
even though I'm pagan, like, I wouldn't bring nothing up about shit unless they asked me.
right,
They would just wonder why we called Christmas Yule and Easter Ostera, but still celebrated the exact same way as everybody else.
right.
And that's
So-
all.
Speaking of judging, we shouldn't. But there's this thing now that's called We Listen and We Don't Judge.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is just a support for us to release something that normally one would be judged for, but not in this setting. So we listen and we don't judge. We say we listen and we don't judge, and then I will make a confession, then Nick will make a confession, or 2 or 7, and then we'll leave you with this shortened broadcast due to the possibility of storms.
Yeah, we could be having a Punk Unicorns tornado special later. If it's anything like the Great Northridge tornado a few years ago, and
Nice.
Brooksville tornado, and Trotwood tornado.
If it was like
And
that, then
Fairborn
it's going to drop a
tornado
kid off
and
at my
be-
door, and I don't want it to do that this time.
Oh, is that when you got?
Mm-hmm.
That day.
Oh my blessed
Look,
be! That is such a
this-
cool day to.
Look, Children's Services called and said, we need you to come get this babe. And I said, I was just in the bathtub with my fucking head between my knees thinking that my house was going to fly off. And when my birth mother was living with us at the time, and after we got off the phone with them, that very next day after the tornadoes, we had to drive down to Children's Services to get the baby. And a 20-minute drive took us almost 50 minutes because of all the debris and stuff. And no matter where you went. So we always say the tornado is what brought her here. And but the
Delivered
thing
her
is,
from Oz.
yes, her name actually, because where we were at, all we got was Rain. So her name's Rainly. So the Rain, and then ILY stands for I love you. And then her middle name's Joe, which is also my middle name. But her middle name was more so geared towards my brother who's deceased.
Well,
Who was
and-
there when she was born with her birth mother.
And that just sounds kind of like cool in 1980s. Like, Riley Joe, you get in here right now.
I
I
call
love
her
that.
Ray Ray.
You know, I was.
She's a pain in the ass. Look, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but she was on one of her fucking kicks. And a few years, or was it
When's
last
her
year?
birthday?
July 25th.
Okay.
She, last year had gotten on the bus with her little boyfriend, gotten on the wrong bus and led us on a wild goose chase around Christmas time for about 45 minutes. And we were terrified because the bus driver told us somebody picked her up. And we're like, what the fuck? Who went and picked our kid up? Like, no. But she got on the wrong bus. And, I forget where I was going with
I
this.
bet where she was the last kid on the bus still, they ended up having to, like, what, bring her home or back to the school?
They brought her to a school close to the house and we went and picked her up. Oh, so yeah, she was technically lost for like 45 minutes and we're freaking out. We're crying and shit like,
Oh my God, I would have
well,
been
she was
freaking out
on
too.
one the other day, and I'm telling you what, I was about ready to put her ass in a basket on someone's doorstep, ring the bell, and run like a motherfucker. And I looked over at him and I said, remember how upset we were when we thought she was lost? Just gotta keep thinking about how upset we were when we thought she was lost. We listen and we don't judge.
Let's see.
Nick will do one and I'll do one, and then we'll send you on your
This
way because the clouds are
one
coming in.
time, 25 years ago, a different era, someone was really mean to me and Chuck at the restaurant, okay? And I worked at Max and Irma's then, circa 2000, and we had these delicious breadsticks that had this wonderful focaccia stuff all over the top of them. It was like garlic butter and like Parmesan-y, rosemary bullshit. Well, it was really funny. If a breadstick fell on the floor, you wouldn't even notice.
No.
Because it had the focaccia seasoning. Or if you were really mean to your server, they might accidentally drop it on the floor and rub it through the grout and then take it out to you. And then that, like,
enjoyed it.
yeah, I hope that they enjoyed it. They probably got sick. The floors get pretty fucking dirty on a double. Right in front of the salad area where we would make our salads. Yeah, and everybody did it. And can I just tell you, like, people didn't spit in food, but we did fuck it up. Because you can see spit on food. I don't know why people act like you can't.
Yeah,
If you
can
pick
tell.
up your bun, you will absolutely see a goober on there. It's not going to be looked at as mayonnaise.
No.
So you have to get creative.
Mayonnaise doesn't foam at the mouth, guys.
Right, like,
Um,
but I would not do that now. You know,
so.
I'll have one more after yours too, a good one.
Okay, so we listen and we don't judge. So this one time I was working at a certain restaurant in New Lebanon, and it was ran by, I don't know where they were from, but they were foreign guys. And I didn't know that the one cook was fucking half the staff.
That's hot because that's at every restaurant.
And, well, not this hoe. I mean, like, I could understand if she looked good, but no. I came into work, I had to open one morning. I come in and I was like, what is this noise? And it was attached to there was a doorway that went to an empty area where they would do, like, graduations or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah, like a room that could be used for overflow.
Ballroom, I guess.
Events,
Fuck, I don't
whatever.
event room. This motherfucker, I'm just standing there and they are going at it. Don't even fucking know I'm standing there.
Oh, that's kind of hot.
I like where you're going. I like where you're going with this. Because I have another one after this one too that kind of is in the same ballpark. So I see them going at it. They have no fucking idea I'm there. And I just go in and start doing my job. I'm cutting up onions and doing all kinds of shit. They literally are just fucking. He's got her bent over and they're fucking. I'm like, I'm just gonna let him finish. And he comes in
That's very nice of you.
He starts, how long have you been here? And I'm like, I've been here the whole time. And I was like, how come you didn't see that I was here this whole time? You tell no one. We go to the register. I open the register. I took $50 out. I put it in my bra. I said, no, I tell no one.
That is exactly how you do that.
That is how you do that. And not only that, there is another instance. Go ahead. I have 3 now.
Okay.
I'll briefly just say this. There was another incident where I found a manager scamming money out of the company. So I said, look, you're going to pay me to keep my motherfucking mouth shut. And I started making double there. I'm just going to say that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. One time, my cousin was cleaning the toilet, and my other family member had done something really shitty to them, so they cleaned the toilet with their toothbrush.
That's always a good payback.
Oh,
Until you get sick for 4 fucking days.
That's exactly what happened.
Somebody probably put my toothbrush in the toilet.
Oh, he did. He actually had to go to the emergency room. He was very, very sick.
I can imagine.
But I guess that was good. I mean, what the person did to the other person was kind of fucked up. Well, it was fucked up. So I just laughed about it. I was like, ha ha ha, even though they could have died. But still.
I laugh because my story is going to be bad.
Okay.
It's going to
We
listen and we don't judge. We don't. This is 100%. I swear on my grandchildren, this is a fucking true story. So, I have a family member that lived with us for a while, I may.
Have already said who the family member was just a few
No.
minutes ago? Oh, okay.
It's my oldest two children's biological mother. It's my cousin. And the dumb bitch tried to kill herself. Which is dumb. Don't do that. People like you, motherfucker. Okay? Don't do that. Well, I really didn't care for her, but I didn't want her to do that. You know?
So,
So the day she did it,
1 and 2 have the same parent?
Bryant and Jordan have the same mother, yes.
Oh, I love that for
Yeah,
them.
well, they have the both same mom and dad.
Right.
They're both
And,
just
and then you
dipshits.
are still related to them, so that makes it even better.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
cool.
So, she decided to take a handful of Tylenol. We didn't
that
know.
doesn't usually kill people.
Well, I think that's what I can't remember. This has been, I was probably 15. It was before the boys were born. Or, well, I had to have been 11 or 12. Because it was before any of my kids, the older ones, were born. She didn't have any children yet. So, yeah, so I had to have been like, because Bryant was born when I was 14, so I'll say I was like 12. And I don't know what it was about our kitchen floor, but it was always super cold, and we would starfish on our kitchen floor and just lay there, right? While Grandma would cook, we would starfish on the floor and talk to Grandma. It was just a thing we did. Everybody did. I don't know
that.
why.
No, I like that though. It's cute.
Well, this particular day, we listen and we don't judge. Grandma was making homemade donuts, right? So she's got her donut stuff sitting there, and she had to go to the bathroom. She's like, "Hey, watch this for me so the grease don't get too hot." Well,
Watch this for me so the grease don't get hot. This is
Well, now-
so we're good.
so I'm watching it, and while I'm watching it, here comes my cousin in. We'll call her Heifer.
Heifer, I like that.
And she starfishes on the floor, and she did it on purpose, so because she had just taken a shit ton of pills, she did it on purpose so she would be right there so we would know something was wrong. So she didn't really want to kill herself that fucking bad. I know I sound insensitive, but goddamn it, you don't know her.
No, it's okay because I'm imagining it the way you're describing it.
Oh,
in my head.
it's getting better. So I'm watching the grease. Grandma goes to the bathroom. She comes back. I go and sit at the kitchen table. Like, we're all in close proximity. And she starts talking to her. She's like, "Hey, Heifer, da-da-da-da-da-da." And she doesn't answer. And she's like, da-da-da. And Grandma quickly realizes that she is unresponsive. And I'm like,
Oh.
unresponsive my ass. Looks like someone needs some attention. So, we don't judge.
I'm not done.
And I haven't even got to the bad part yet.
You know, I got some cousins like this. It's
I haven't even
okay.
got to the bad part yet. So Grandma's like, "Kathy, I gotta call 911. You need to watch the stove. You need to watch this grease." And I'm like, "Oh, no problem." Big bitch. So I go up and I'm watching it, and I notice that the grease is getting rather hot and it's crackling and popping and bubbling, and I'm like, I take a fucking metal spoon, I dip it in, I promise you I'm not lying, dip it in that fucking hot grease and poured it right on that bitch's arm. She didn't move. I was like, "Yeah, you should probably call 911.
Well, you kind of had to know what was going on.
She was dramatic and did shit on purpose.
I can see that.
So I'm like, one thing, I mean, I have been so serious about this. I was in a really bad car accident with my dad when I was 5. So my health has always been like, I don't joke about your health or his health.
Right, no,
Health is the joke that I don't make jokes about. Like,
I'm kind of the same way because I don't want nobody to get cancer, even people I hate.
right. So I yeah. Mm-hmm. And
I
then
know, I'm
afterwards,
too nice.
she even found it, like, after she got home and everything, and she's like, "I don't know what happened to my arm." I was like, "Bitch, well, let me tell you." I didn't. Listen,
When you fell, you hit that oil on the way down.
on the way down, it just dribbled. No, I fucking flat out told her. I said, poured the oil on your arm to make sure you weren't faking. Look,
Yeah, because you can't.
If you
fake
have
that.
ever
Your eyes,
spent
even if
enough
you
time
could,
with me-
when you gave it away.
I don't care. I care, but I'm responsible for my actions and my everything, and I don't care to be
Extra honest.
extra honest. Absolutely, because I don't give a fuck.
Well, there's also a difference between
I
being
did.
mean and hateful and being extra honest. There really absolutely is. And other people are like, that's just what narcissists say. No. Because
No, because the narcissist was on the floor, and the one with the only level mind in the whole fucking household
was the one testing that.
was like, yeah, we're gonna make sure before you waste somebody's time and money to come out here and pick her ass up. And I did. I took, and she did. She had a burn mark on there for a long time, and I told her, I was like, I wanted to make sure you weren't fucking faking. Don't play with me, ho.
How? Yeah, you moron.
Go climb up a tree and fall down on the other side.
Yeah, like a dumb bird.
Tweedledee. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the Punk Unicorns Podcast with